Hi guys, this homework today is for October 3rd. It's the first homework for Unit 4. Then these are what the notes should look like. The first vocab word is absolute value is the distance a number is from 0. It is the positive of a number. So it is always going to be a positive number. Opposites are two numbers that lie the same distance from 0 on a number line, but are in two opposite directions. And then a zero pair is a pair of numbers that when you add them together, they equal 0. So our opposites, our examples are 1 and -1, and 2 and -2. Those are opposites. Then if you add these opposites together, so if I want a number line, 0, and I go to 1, so I move over to 1, and then I have to go backwards 1, I end up at 0. That is what a zero pair is. On our notes, we talked about the absolute value of each one of these numbers. Says plot the points from the table to determine the absolute value. So we did -7 is over here. The distance it is from 0 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces. Same thing with +7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces. Number +3, 1, 2, 3 spaces. -6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces. -1 is only 1 space. So that's how we got our answers there. Just trying to explain. It says a number can be used to find the opposite of a number line. It says opposites are similar to reflection across the number line. So in this example, I had a dotted line, and it's just like a reflection over the 0 in the number line. So if I go to -4, it is 4 spaces to the left of 0, and then +4 is 4 spaces to the right of 0, and they are opposite of each other. On the back side of that, we have a negative sign is used to represent opposite, like the word opposite. When we say it, like in our table below, it says for each statement, rewrite it as an expression and then simplify it if needed. So the opposite of -5. So we have opposite of -5 is +5. The opposite of 7, so the opposite of 7 is -7. The opposite of 2 is -2. The opposite of -6, so the opposite of -6 is +6. The opposite of -5/10, opposite of -5/10 is +5/10. Then down here at the bottom, we said adding integers using zero pairs. So here we have our positive numbers on the left and our negative numbers on the right. We have +7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positive spaces. Let me take. Whoop. Sorry, I'm having to fix my blinds because my light turned off. Good night. And then we have -4 here, so 1, 2, 3, 4 negatives. We canceled out our zero pairs, so we have a positive and negative, that equals 0. 1 positive, 1 negative equals 0. 1 positive, 1 negative equals 0. 1 positive, 1 negative equals 0. So those are all canceled out, and we are left with 3 positives. So 7 plus -4 is 3. Now in our journals, we wrote a little poem under Unit 4, and it says adding integers. Same side, add and keep. So if you have the same sign, so +1 plus +1, you're gonna add the numbers and keep the same sign. So a positive plus a positive is a positive. And then same thing here, negative plus a negative is a negative. 1 plus 1 is 2, and they both have a negative, so the answer has to be negative. Then the second part of it says different signs, adds or subtract. Keep the sign of the bigger number, then you'll be exact. So these have 2 separate signs, so you subtract 3 and 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. The bigger number is 3, so that one's positive, so our answer is positive. Then we have 4 and -2. If you subtract 4 minus 2, you get 2. Our bigger number is 4. It is positive, so our answer is positive. Then our next one is 32 plus 56. If you subtract 56 minus 32, you get 24. Our bigger number is 56. It is negative, so our answer is negative. Okay, that's kind of what we went over in class today. Let me go over the homework with you guys really quickly. So the first question says, which number is farther from 0 on a number line, -9 or +6, and why? So you can draw a number line to the side over here if you want to and put +6 and -9, and then just count the different spaces or just take the absolute value. It's totally up to you. Take the absolute value of both of them and figure out which one is farther away from 0. Then number 2 says write the opposite of the following number. So you're trying to find the opposite of -4, the opposite of 12 and 5/10, the opposite of -3 and 2/10, the opposite of +5, and the opposite of -2 and 15/100. Then number 3 says, what is the absolute value for the following numbers? You are just telling me the absolute value for +4, -6, -7, +23, and -17 and 5/100. Remember that absolute value is always positive. Then number 4 says, Roberto says the opposite of a certain integer is -5. Cindy concludes that the opposite of an integer is always negative. Who is correct and why? So you need to tell me if it is Roberto or if it is Cindy and why they are correct. If you have any questions on the homework, please send me a message through Remind or send me an email. I will do my best to get you as long as you email me or send me a message before about 8 o'clock because that's usually when my baby goes to bed. So if you have any questions, just send me a message there, guys. Have a good evening. Bye.